Hey everybody, let's try this again. Obviously, yesterday's video did not go the way I planned, so instead of writing up notes for a whole new video, I'm like, we're just going to do that one from scratch. So we're going to be repeating stuff that I was saying yesterday, but of course you didn't hear any of it because the mic died. Before I get into working on this piece, remember this is a piece I bought it from Wayne Foster at HersheyCon this year, and I'm working on it. I don't know who the penciler was. If I go to Happy Valley Con, I will definitely have to go see him. Maybe he'll know who it was. So, before we go any further, I want to remind you all that Shae's art auction is in 2 weeks, and one of the pieces I'll have available is I have to clean this up, but I'm going to have this piece, Jack from Nightmare Before Christmas. It will be available in Shae's art auction. The other piece I'll have available is this Thundar the Barbarian piece I did. Okay? So I had fun doing this. It's just a fun piece I did. And again, I'm going to have this available. So if you're interested, you're going to want to go over to Shae's channel and subscribe to her. It's going to be 3 segments. And the one segment that I am on, where for auction, will be the night auction at 9 p.m. Remember, that is also a hiatus week from the chat. So don't be surprised if there's going to be a break in our programming for that night. So, but let's get back to this. So I wanted to wrap up Baltimore, and I had a lot of fun. Now, when I did the video for Bean Doritos with Billy Tucci, I enjoyed that immensely. I'd actually recited what I wanted to say numerous times in my head. That's the reason why I was able to express myself so passionately, and it didn't feel scripted. So I had a lot of fun. But fortunately, Billy knew about me uh, looking at crowdfunding as Doritos, so he was able to play off of it very easily, and that's one of the reasons why the video came out as well as it did. Now, the funny thing was is that I was so intent on the video, I didn't take notice that Miss Stippling was panning the video back and forth between Billy and I. Here, it wasn't until I saw it that I realized that I was not in the same frame. I was not close enough to Billy that we weren't in the frame together. So that's the reason why Miss Stippling kept panning back and forth. And thank goodness she did. Made for a much better video. And so now, thank you also. Yes, Raging. I met Raging Goblin, Green Goblin, and his wife did a great job. She took all of his patches that he's gotten from crowdfunding and sewed it into his leather jacket. It looks very, very cool. And so if he ever posts images of his leather jacket, make sure you give him a thumbs up. So, but yeah, it was great to meet. It's always great to meet other fans uh, from people who watch live streams and videos online. I I know I'm hoping next year I will get to meet John's Longbox at Garden State. I know he drove out to take part in the after hour activities with Graham Cigar Fest and whatnot. But I'd like to see. Hopefully, he'll be at the show with a booth so I can talk to him. So and that's one reason why I always advise creators that you have to get out to these shows to reach out to uh, normal fans that don't follow the internet stuff. Uh, a perfect example is Shane, who's talked numerous times since the show of how many people who were fans of his work were like, "Oh, I didn't know you're still doing comic books. I thought you'd gotten out of comic books altogether." I would have thought the same thing. Now, when we first showed up on Friday, I was like a table and a half away from Shane. He was standing outside his booth. And I'll tell you something, that booth with the graphics and the backdrops made a statement. It was the best statement presentation I think I saw at the entire show. That's the reason why when I was walking up to him, I just said, and I said this in a loud voice for anybody to hear. I go, now that's called slapping your dick down for everybody to see. And he kind of gave that nervous laugh. But yeah, him and John had the best presentation. I even, like I said, I even went up to John, and everybody knows that since John did the whole anti Kickstarter thing about a year and a half ago, I've been very anti John Malin. And I went up to him and I congratulated and reached out and shook his hand and congratulated him for showing up. And he said, "Oh, yeah, this is what we wanted to do in Chicago." And I was like, "Look, they're gunning for you in Chicago." I said, making a statement here at Baltimore, it's great because they did not have any problems the entire weekend they were there. They they didn't have any problems, which if they want to do the Chicago Con, they have now the ammunition that if the promoters go, "Oh, well, you guys are problem makers, we don't want any problems," they're going to go, "Wait a second. We are at the Baltimore show, and we were 2 aisles away from Mark Brooks, and there was no problems whatsoever." So I would definitely say that they've take they've taken the ammunition out of the enemy's guns for when the enemy comes after them. They basically unloaded their guns. They dismantled their guns in front of them. So that's the reason why I would definitely advise the guys to continue to show up at Baltimore. And that table, I'll tell you something. The way it was set up, it would be they could like Shane has one side, Malin has one side, Ethan could have a side, and Cecil could have a side. And I could see all of them having graphics wrapping all the way around the table with their own backdrop promoting their material. And I'll tell you, I think it would be it make a great statement of, hey, we are here and the fans are accepting us. That will give them the clout and the proof they need for going to other shows in the future, and not just Baltimore or just to uh, Garden State. So I was very happy to see them there, and I continue to, like I said, and I even said to Malin how like you probably don't like me. And he was like, why wouldn't I like you? And I told him, I said, because you'd win one of your tangents about anti Kickstarter, and I shot back really hard at you, and he just shrugged it off. Okay, which tells me that again he's triggering us with this internet bullshit, and we're falling for it. But in real life, he's really not that bad. Uh, I mean, I, hey, he could. I still am not going to actively go out and watch more on YouTube, probably because it's one of those where it's like he does push my buttons. So why do I want someone who is doing that? So, but then of course I think we're all starting to see how a lot of these guys online they're one way, and then in real life they're not that bad. So that's why when I said on when John's Longbox was doing his Sunday show, I put in about how all these internet idiots need to go to a bar and watch how you can have a Steelers fan and a Dallas Cowboys fan talk shit to each other all game long. But at the end, but while they're talking shit, they're buying each other shots, and they leave friends. And so that's the reason why, like, with a lot of this internet stuff, and even still, these people are like very anti Shane, anti Malin, and anti Ethan. If you have the ability, talk to them face to face. You'll find out you're your interaction will be much better than it was online. So, but so, and of course, I'm so disappointed. I'd left the show Saturday. I didn't stay the whole day. I just didn't want to. I got down to where there was like two other artists I wanted to meet, but I they weren't going to be available at their table. So like later in the day, I'm like, I'm not staying an extra hour and a half till they get back. And so I left. And as I was getting in my car to leave the parking garage, I pull out my phone and I get notification that Shane is streaming from the Baltimore floor. And I'm just assuming he's sitting at his table with a camera and just. So it wasn't until actually I got home and saw that nope, Shane actually got dressed up as Mange Davis, and walked around the convention floor. I was like, God damn it! Because when I saw him on Friday, I said to myself, "Oh, we're not going to get Shane." He's like, "Nah, I don't think I want to do that." He's kind of like wishy-washy the way in person saying it. But I kind of wish I had. I wish when I saw that he was streaming, I should have opened it up and just like glanced at it. If that was the case, I would have gone back to the show and I would have walked up to him like, "Mange Davis, here's my $5. I need to give this video. I need to take a picture of you and send it to your mama. Send it to your metaphysical mama, Danger Vanessa." So, but I even told him when he said he wasn't going to be uh, uh, showing up as Mange, or Mange wasn't going to be making an appearance. I was like, I want to take a picture and send it to your metaphysical mama. So he laughed that off. So, but no, it was just I had a very good time at the show. Um, had long conversations with a lot of these creators, such as like Amanda and Jimmy, uh, Sean Chen, and Carl Kessel, advising them like, "Hey, do an Indiegogo campaign." And I didn't use Doritos with them. I used Fruit of the Loom. I said, when you were going to school as a kid, I said, where'd your mom buy the Fruit of the Loom underwear? And sometimes they'd say a store I'd recognize. And then I'd go, did the kid across the street, did his mom buy his Fruit Looms the exact same store? And they smiled. They're like, no, he didn't. He went to such and such or such. And I said, there's different audiences. And I explained why I don't back her on Kickstarter, because they wait until the campaign's closed to take the funds out of your money. And I said, I'm not going to take the chance of bouncing my electrical bill uh, because Kickstarter didn't take the funds out in a timely manner. So and a lot of them they shook their head like, yeah, okay, I understand what you're saying. So I'm hoping that more of these creators, and I even I said to them, I said, look, I said, even if you don't do that well, I said, at least you reached out to that audience, which can give you more, and even if you don't get the success that you want, do it again, because once you've proven it that you are fulfilling as a creator, you'll get more people wanting to take a chance with you. And I was getting polite responses back, whether they were just, yeah, okay, yeah, like you can just go away now, I'm never going to do it, or not. But I was getting responses, and that's what you want. So, because why? Because I want these guys, and that's why I told them also. I said, I want you guys to succeed. But you also need to remember that not everybody goes to the exact same platforms, and you got to go to where the audience is. So that's why you should do multiple crowdfunders, I'm sorry, do your campaigns on multiple platforms. So, because like the one guy, I think it was Mark Morales, he flat out even said, and this is the thing, you have to remember, a lot of these creators, they might be good with the creative end, but they're not good with the business end. And that's the reason why, like Mark Morales, with the team that he's working with for the new book that he's going to be working on, they're going through Zoop. And the reason why they're going through Zoop is because they can focus on the creative end, and Zoop will take care of the fulfillment end and doing the pre-press for them and all. And If they're happy with that, great. But I advise them, like, look, if you can do any other way, please do it, because we as fans, we ultimately are the deciders whether we go to Zoop or whether we stick with Indiegogo. So, but yeah, because I mean, when it comes to crowdfunding now, I just want to be a cheerleader. I want them all to have success. And like I said, when I went to see Sean Chen, when his crowdfunding campaign was for the first 3 issues, and they only had the first 2 available for purchase. The third, only way you could get it was to spend like $50 for the signed version. And I'm not doing that. But then I explained to him why he needs to do it. I said, I want to back you. I want to support you, but I don't like Kickstarter. And I explained why. And I was just like, please do a campaign on Indiegogo. You'll get my support. So, and it's no different than when we were younger. A lot of people, when they were younger, and you go to the mall and you'd have Sears and J.C. Penney at opposite ends of the mall. Some people went to Sears. Some people went to J.C. Penney. They both were able to buy their Levi jeans and their Fruit of the Loom underwear, and they're both left satisfied with their purchases. So that's why I say, I mean, there you're gonna have people who will support one but not the other. So, but so, and then of course, oh, let's take a da, 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 da. Oh, and I did take I didn't, because Von Coleman was busy, and I didn't want to hold him up, getting the to Michael Golden's booth to help him out. I just gave him his bag of Doritos, took a picture with him. When I see him at Garden State, I'll definitely do a Doritos commercial with him. So, but so, guys, I'm almost done with what I want to talk about. So, I'm going to wrap up this video, and I'm going to get to work on the cat piece I was working on. You saw images of that, but I wanted to take time. And this again is, see how like I'm just creating the planes, and see how I could just use that to create the folds in the shirt. Okay, so I'm thinking it's looking pretty good. So I'm looking forward to showing this to Wayne. Wayne, if you are watching this, oh, and to everybody who's watching, please, 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 uh, send me a like if you would. Feel free to comment, and if you're liking this video with Stippling and showing how I use dots to create the tone, and how I do my best, do my utmost to avoid doing holding lines, uh, give me a comment, give me a subscription. It all helps out. And I do not, here's the thing, I do understand that, like, I'm going to get more and more people because of the algorithm in fourth quarter being suggested to watch my videos. So I hope if you're new, you will consider giving me a subscription. So until then, guys, remember, life is stressful. Just take it all one dot at a time. And let's just keep going here. Nice and light. Nice and light. Nice and light.